You're listening to The Kelly Slusher Show with your host, Kelly Slusher.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me again and again. Yay! Okay, okay. Honestly, last Monday, I was pretty sure that that was going to be my last podcast episode and come back on here and tell you guys, that's it. I'm done. It's over. Because I put my podcast... Okay, so I got this change of terms from iTunes, Apple, for their podcasting. And I know that's a major platform that people listen to my podcast on. And then also Spotify. Those are two big ones. I know these things. Oh, I know it because I can see like on my back end, I can see like the percentage of different platforms, what people use and what people don't use. I don't know. It's just one of those things. When you look at your analytics or your statistics, you know, you can see stuff like what country, and you can't see detail, but you can see little things. Enough to help you, maybe, whatever. But anyway, so I always upload my podcast. I always listen to it immediately if I can, because I want to make sure that it's right. I want to make sure I edited it right. Nothing's wonky, even though I listened to it like 4 or 5 times before I even put it out, because there's just like, I'm so meticulous. I want it to be as perfect as I can make it, you know, smooth, flawless. And that's part of the time consuming part of doing the podcast. Editing, making sure it's perfect. But it's worth it, right? Okay. Anyway, so I knew this change of terms, something was changing, but Spotify never told me that you couldn't opt out. So then I saw that when I listened to it, I saw that immediately it was summarizing what I was like. It divided my podcast into chapters, and then it summarized it. And I didn't like it. Because I'm like, that's full on AI. Like going in there immediately. There's no way that's human. And people want chapters. That's like, it's supposed to grow your podcast. It's not a bad thing. You know, people were doing this before. They would have to find services to do this for them because it helps you grow. So it's all for good intentions. But I didn't like robots listening to what I was saying in my personal stories and summarizing it and giving you the mood of each chapter. What's it going to tell you? Right, so it's going to have to talk about this, a little summarize. Like, she was upset that I was editing and spitting it out in my own interpretation because my stories are personal. So, you know, I tell you things. I talk about, maybe I mention a friend. I might mention a friend's name, or all these things are precious to me. I don't want this, the robots to have anyway. It's a big thing. I mean, we all know the threat of what AI could potentially be, and I just don't want to be mimicked, I guess. It's just who am I, right? But anyway, so my podcast is personal stories. There are people who have really boring podcasts, but people love them, and I'm just boring because I won't listen to them. But maybe I listen to stuff people think are boring, but things that are informative. Okay, this is talking about something that's important. Those are important podcasts. People listen to them. They get, information out. People love that. But so that to me is not as big of a deal. Fine, have it do that. But when it's me and you're talking about and I was like, I don't like that. So I was like, and all week I didn't take notes, but I kept getting ideas, and I'm like, dang, those are good ideas. Oh, that's funny. I love that, and so and it actually helped me to see how much I've been doing this for 3 years coming up, not until February, so it's not quite 3 years of 2026, but I started in February of 2023. So I have this special creative muscle that I have trained, this thing in my head, so I can, and a lot of comedians do that. If you want to do comedy, the one thing that you have to do is always improv. It's an improv thing. And so I've got that little comedy muscle improv thing. And it's a flow. It's a thing that you can develop if you have that creative thing anyway. So And AI, anyway, so I'm here, I'm doing it. I'm going to just keep going. It would be sad. I know, I do know that people are listening and like friends. I almost want to call it like a friends cast, because I know that people listen that don't know me. And I think some people might find it interesting. I've met people throughout my travels, my life, my interesting life that I've lived, and I've moved, and I don't know, I've done so many interesting things. I've met so many people, and not everyone stayed friends, but then I noticed, I'll get like occasional messages from someone knowing, oh, you listen, rad, I love this. So that keeps that's exciting. I think it's going to be okay, but I just needed to, I needed to really think about it. I really needed to think about like, it's out of, I don't know, it's like out of my control, right? In the future, whatever happens, but it's very concerning. I grew up, playing in the creeks, me and my sister, we lived in Arkansas, and my dad had bought property where I was born on like a bunch of property. And my earliest memories is just, like playing outside in the yard, sitting in the mud. Because, I had a little accent. I was telling someone, we were talking about that at work the other day, and how my accent did not stay. But if I start to drink, let's say, I hang out with people, it might come out. And she said that was because when I was 15, I moved when I was 9. And she said normally when you're around 15 is when like an accent will stay, because I've met other people who are from Arkansas in my life. And like this one guy, he had a heavy accent. And he was living in California for years. And there's like 2 British people that work at my job, and their accents are very heavy. And that's because of when they were, I guess, their informative years, like 15, 16, like all that stuck in their head. Anyway, it makes me wonder what kind of habits we still do from those years of peer pressure. Oh yeah, I think about all that. It's crazy. Anyway, back to AI. I was playing in the mud. We had a little farm, and there were just all kinds of little animals, and just outside all the time. Just go play in the yard. Get out there and play in the yard. Playing in trees. More than what urban kids, because I think a lot of urban kids had to go to parks or whatever. But if you grew up on property, you could just play, That's my memory. So that is precious and dear to me. And I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to lose the earth. I don't want to lose just like the human connection. I don't want to lose, so I lay in bed tripping out. I have been tripping out about this. I'm sure a lot of people have been tripping out, but there are people who are adopting it, and there are people like me who are like, oh, where is this going? And so 2 experiences in the past week at my work. So one is I do reels for them at this job, because everyone else, except for maybe a few people, will do it. But they go, no. Like he's asked people, will you do this? I have this idea. And he's the British guy. I can't do his voice. Will you do this? So when I first started, he came up to me, and I'm in the back of house, just, baking my buns off. And he's like, hey, I have this idea. Would you be wanting, I'm looking for someone. I was like, I'll do it. I have no problem acting. I'm like, I like doing stuff like that. And it's not to get attention. I'm like, gosh, I'm baking, and then I get to go act. Are you kidding? That's my favorite thing. And I'm like the one take, I can do it in like one take. Sometimes I might have to do it twice, but I can do it really quick, and it's effortless for me. It's fun. And so the other day he's like, I need an idea. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't lose your creativity. Please think. Don't do that. But I think some people don't have. I'm so imaginative and so creative, and I always have been. But when you exercise that muscle, it's so amazing. But you don't want to be too, can make you go crazy. I don't know. But then my co-baker the other day, we were going to make some panna cotta, which I don't like panna cotta. I don't think it sells very well. I don't even know why we have it. Just, I don't know. Some people buy it, but I think we shouldn't have it. My opinion. And she's like, we need a flavor. And I'm like, let's think about this. And I'm thinking, look, we can come up with flavors. And she goes, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I was like, no, let's think of it. She did it anyway. And then she's like, salted caramel, London pho. I mean, she listed all the things I could have thought of. That was not that is nothing that we couldn't have thought of. Anyway, so then she sends me, and then she'll take a picture of the recipe, puts it into ChatGPT. It puts it into just takes the photo, puts it into a recipe, and then she sends it to me. So I ended up making it for her. I was like, dang it. Fine. I know bless her heart, she's a little lazy. She admits it. She is lazy. So it's perfect for people who aren't imaginative or lazy. They're going to adopt it. Like, heck yeah, I don't have to think. I'm not creative. But us creators, like, we got to stand strong in our creativity. And because I think, we got, I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm here. And, and the real thing is funny because there's some people, what I've learned is other businesses, like other restaurants, are mad at this place that I'm like, I think they're jealous, honestly, that they can do it too, though, that we've started doing reels like in the past year. And even one coworker, she doesn't work there anymore, she like criticized in front of me. She's like, I don't know, I just think they're really embarrassing and awful. And she got this other job and she's like, yeah, the owner of this such and such job, he was just like, just talking so much, smack about you, so embarrassing. And like in front of me, like I'm like one of the main people because I'm the only one that'll do it. I do not care. I don't care. I am not like, I have through my life, everything I've experienced and where I'm at now, I don't care. I want to have fun. If people judge me, I don't care. I know in my mind, this is a good thing for the business and should they get the free talent? And then one lady's like, do they pay you? I'm like, no, it's just for funsies, It's like, I'm baking and then I look over the head back. I'm like, I'm going to go do a reel now. Okay. I run off. I do my hair, make myself not, because the other thing, I'll look like a slut times. I'll go to work looking like, it's early mornings. You just want to throw your hair back and like put on your, clothes that aren't going to get messed up. And, so now I'm like, oh no, the night before, make sure you wash your hair, make yourself look good. In the morning, put on makeup and like look good because they're probably going to ask you. So that's been fun. I have a really good idea for this next one. I don't know. It's fun. I just like to have fun. So anyway, I'm here and so far I've decided I'm going to stay. So not going to get rid of me that fast, AI. I'm just not going to look at I'm just not going to look at the summaries. That's fine. It'll probably bring me more listeners. It's so funny. I've talked about that. I'm like, do I want more listeners? I think, in my opinion, if I wanted to really get a lot, like where it became I can get sponsorships, I have to have a lot more, like 500 listeners a podcast. Definitely nowhere near that. But I'd also need to take more time and make it that good, like make it, like do more sketches. Like this week, I don't have a sketch for you. I was too busy thinking I was never going to do it again. Okay, but I have this. Okay, now I have some notes. So gross. What if there was laundry detergent? You never have to wash your clothes again. One wash laundry detergent. That's all you need. You'll never have to wash your clothes again. But what if you get them saying it washes your clothes as they're on you? Oh, it's brilliant. I just thought it was funny. I had to get my entire heating system replaced this past week, and I wanted to be home. I didn't want strangers in my house. I got a lot of gear in here, and I got a little bun. So I was like, no. But anyway, the guy was changing the heater out, and I heard him, and I know who had put the heater in. It just was never working right, and he called him a knucklehead. He's just like so annoyed. He's like, oh my gosh, what a knucklehead. And I know he knows who he is. I thought that was funny. Part of my notes just says knucklehead. Knucklehead. I love that. Can we use that word more? Knucklehead. He's just a knucklehead. It's such a nice, mean thing to say. I was watching this dog training competition. No, I was watching this dog, and we'll probably see that video of this dog. He's just like so geared up, ready to go, and he does like the dog competition thing, does everything, and he's really fast, and he just like comes back. And it's like, who are the people? What? Okay, I'm thinking maybe the people who were raised with families that train dogs. That makes sense, because we do a lot of things our parents did. That's what we know. Like my dad's an artist, so art and painting and stuff. Like I'm not a great painter, but he was fabulous, amazing, realistic. But I do art, I do creative stuff, you know, because I was raised that way. And like we kind of, I don't know, it's what we know. So we do what we know. So that, and then there's what else? But who gets a dog and is like, you know what? I'm going to get into dog competition training. Just seems so hard and tedious. Who does that? Like, well, that's such an interesting world. But there's also the baby pageant. But that makes more sense to me because I can see how moms can be so like, my baby's so cute. I think she should be on, I should make her a little star and put makeup on her. I mean, that's normal. Not really. Just kidding. It's awful. The Frumpy Frugal. Welcome to the Frumpy Frugal. Today, I know. You're just really frumpy and you're frugal. My friend the other day, you listen to this, but it's funny. She did say, you're the most confident person I know. I love talking to you or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I've always been that way. But also the most confident / insecure person you'll ever meet. I'm not that. No, it's so funny. Like I talk and talk, blah, blah, but no, I'm not. I am, but I'm not. Let's see. What am I insecure about? I don't want AI to know about this. Oh yeah, full on, fully secure, confident. I can tell you how, this and this and me, but then I'm not completely insecure, but they're just as any human would. I am. I mean, I know people think I'm not, but, there are things that I feel insecure about, of course, but I just think it's funny. But little side note, when I was a kid, I got in trouble, like big trouble, for talking about myself. And it would just be like now, like, hey, look what I made. Look at this. Look what I made. Look what, like kids do, right? Look what I did. Look what I made. And I guess even as a little girl, I was like, look at what I did. And my sister got upset and would yell, Mom, she's bragging again. She's bragging again. And I'm like, I'm bragging? I'm just showing you. Look at this elephant I drew. Isn't it great? Well, girl, that's good, huh? I didn't even think it was good. I think I was just like, look what I made. Like I was proud of it. That's me. I'm proud of it. Showing you. But I'm not trying to brag, and you do good things too. I don't think I'm better than you, I generally am just proud of something. I just want to show you. Anyway. But my mom would get really upset. And this was back, like my mom came from a really, I wouldn't say Southern, but like a really strict Baptist. Her mom and her dad, like when I look at that family lineage of like my mom's parents, I don't go, oh yay, I'm so glad those are my grandparents. Like, no, like that lineage in itself, not so good. Like just really dark, really negative, just I don't even want to get into that lineage. There's some good things, like we're related to Buffalo Bill Cody, like within not that far, like that's kind of cool. My grandpa looks just like Buffalo Bill Cody. My mom's dad, but there's just like so much, like my grandmother, her parents would tie her, she was left-handed, and they tied her arm around, they would tie her left arm. So she would have to write with her right arm. They would tie her hand back, like tie it to her back. I don't know how they did that, but she couldn't move, she couldn't be herself. And then she ends up marrying a very, I don't know. How do you explain that grandpa? He was just very judgmental, very strict. This is what you're going to do. I am the boss, and you are going to have my 9 babies. And so my mom was raised in that. So And then my dad was just emotionally, I really love my grandma and grandpa, like the Slusher side. I love my grandma Slusher. She passed away when I was 18. Just one of the most tragic days of my life. Because she was, oh my gosh. I do know that I have a lot of my grandma's kind of personality. She was very quirky. She was, just amazing. Even my home feels like my grandma's house. Anyway. And we all loved my grandma. My dad followed his mom. That's why I ended up in Arkansas. My dad would follow her wherever she went. My grandma was a mover, so I kind of had that in common. So she moved a lot. Even when she was living in a home, she'd move her furniture all the time. I mean, I'm not like that. Can't. Don't got the room. Little house maxed out. So anyway, but my dad was very emotionally, bless his heart, rest his soul, love my dad. He knows this. This is nothing, I'm not talking bad about my deceased father, but so weird to say that, my deceased father. But, he was very emotionally stunted at a really young age. So you have my mother, who in her whole headset, her whole mindset, you're not supposed to, children are to be seen and not heard. You're not supposed to talk about yourself. You do not color outside the lines. It's really strict in that way. But she wasn't really that way, but that was just how she was brought up. And then my dad, that was just an emotional, agoraphobic, just unable, and he was also alcoholic. So you have these two, I was raised by two very kind of crazy people, not stable. And so my mom was just coming from that. So when her daughter was like, hey mom, and to this day, I will say, she doesn't listen to this podcast, my sister might, but even now, when she gets upset at me, she's like, you think you're better than everybody else. And I have that joke that I do, you think you're better than me? I know it's dark, it's deep, it comes from that. My mom always telling me, you think you're better than everyone else. I'm like, absolutely not. But here comes me. Hey, look at me. Look what I can do. Absolutely breaking the ancestral cycle of oppression. Someone who's look, and I'm still like that. I'm like, what? Okay, this life is so beautiful. What can I do? What more things can I do? How can I live it fully? That's always been my whole thing. What can I do? How can I, what other things can I do? And it's not about bragging, but it's about experiencing and then sharing. So, but this is sad. And this is just a little context here of where I came from, what I came out of, and how I'm not bound by this anymore. But as a kid, it was really hard because I was always in trouble for doing what I'm doing now. Always in trouble. I wasn't a kid whose mom was like, oh, you're the best thing in the world. No, you're not supposed to like yourself. You're not, liking yourself is the opposite of how you're supposed to be. Okay, let's switch. Bunk, bath, and beyond. Bunk, back, and beyond. Oh, my bunk back, and beyond. I'm going to make 6 tarts and 12 chocolate cupcakes for my friend's birthday on Wednesday. Hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm a baker tune. And she asked me if I would do it. I'm like, heck to the yes. A yes. I'm still working on my little Bake-C website. I haven't done anything with it yet where I can sell to the public. But you technically need a cottage license, and that's just something I need to do. A lot of things, my list. But hopefully the beginning of next year I will have, I can do special orders. I heard someone talking about at this bakery that I work at, part of the business is a bakery. It's a multiple faceted place, but the bakery part, someone was wanting to order a pie, and it was $52, and it was a coworker. He was like, well, we get 20% off. 20%? We get 10% or 20% off. And I wanted to be like, oh dude, I could bake it for, $25. I'll make you $20. I'll make you a pumpkin pie. But I was like, that's lame. Don't do that. I'm not going to take business from them. That's stupid. Okay, I didn't take notes. That's why I'm telling you my childhood stories. I have no notes. I was pretty determined. I was really sad. I was like, this isn't good. All week I was heavy hearted about well, maybe I'll do something else. But honestly, There is the radio option. But the thing about it's an hour-long radio shows once a week are very time-consuming. And even if unless you're just going to go in there and just like talk for an hour, you still do live talking. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I do have that option, but I love that option, but it's still not the same. It's not going to be like, hey, everybody, here I am. So part of my notes here, I wrote down, I was in the store and there were these two guys standing in the aisle and I was looking for something and they were having this conversation and it was just right there out loud and right in the open, just having this conversation like no one else was around. I guess they didn't care. And it was like this old, like an older guy and like a guy who was older but not as old as the older guy. And I'm thinking that the older guy was excited to just be talking to somebody. Because the guy I was talking to, they were having this, it's getting weird, the conversation's getting weird, and I'm kind of like thinking these guys are interesting, you know, but I wasn't paying that much attention. All of a sudden, I hear the younger guy ask the older guy, the older guy asked the younger guy, he was like, have you ever taken LSD? And then the other guy says, only 10,000 times. Like, yeah. And then he just starts talking about his experience with LSD, and then he was like, and then I had this dream that I was taken when I was on LSD, but I hadn't taken LSD. So then I thought about, I'm gonna wake up and I can, now I'm thinking like during the day I can like just, maybe I can just like will myself. I looked over at him when he said that, and I was like, yeah, that guy's taken it 10,000 times. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, whoa. Like his hair was crazy and his eyes were just wide open and they looked like they were like dilated, and like, you don't need to take any more. Of course you don't. Of course you can just wake up and you're going to be on acid. I think that just happens. It just is in your system, if you take it that much. But it was weird. Like, it seemed like the older guy was trying to have a more intellectual conversation about it while the other guy was like, yeah, man. And then like, why would you want to take it all the time? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. This little interesting little podcast episode I just did. Oh, well, got a little deep. But next time I'll be nice and shallow. Surface level only. No. Okay. So I'm going to put the ending on, put on the ending. I'm going to put one of the many hundreds of little jingles I make, or it's not jingles, songs that I'll never do anything with, but like I talked about before, that that was all I'd really do. I'd come home and just write music, and like every night it was like my thing. So I just have a ton of these little songs that I'll never do anything with, but they're fun, and they're great to add to this ending of the podcast. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Okay, I will be back next week, I promise. All right, bye.